गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Om. Dear friends, in the last class we completed the 7th shloka, that is Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma Vijitatma Jitendriyah Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma Kurvannapi Nalipyate. That shloka we completed. That shloka tells about a karma yogi becoming a ashrama sannyasi, then graduating into a jnani, and then how that jnani, initially ashtanga yoga yuktaha, then he controls his mind and senses, and then sarvabhutatma bhutatma, he develops that vision, that type of understanding where he sees his own atman everywhere in all things. So that is the shloka which we completed. Then the next shloka is also important. Let us start this shloka. Naiva kinchit karomiti
नैव किञ्चित् करोमीति
युक्तो मन्येत तत्त्ववित्
युक्तो मन्येत तत्त्ववित्
पश्यन् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रन्
पश्यन् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रन्
अश्नन् गच्छन् स्वपन् श्वसन्
अश्नन् गच्छन् स्वपन् श्वसन्
प्रलपन् विसृजन् गृह्णन्
प्रलपन् विसृजन् गृह्णन्
उन्मिषन् निमिषन्नपि
उन्मिषन् निमिषन्नपि
इन्द्रियाणि इन्द्रियार्थेषु
इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेषु
वर्तन्त इति धारयन्.
वर्तन्त इति धारयन्.
So we have read two shlokas because these two shlokas form only one line. Usually one shloka will be one line, but here this first shloka is continuing into the second shloka because he is describing a series of actions. While doing all these actions, how a jnani, what is the attitude of a jnani while indulging in karma, while performing karma. So that is the context here. These shlokas, they talk about the case of a jnani. In Gita, we have to be careful. As I said, Lord Krishna is switching over from karma yogi to karma sannyasi, and then karma yogi with upasana, and then mere sannyasi, kevala sannyasi, ashrama sannyasi without jnanam, ashrama sannyasi with upasana, ashrama sannyasi with jnanam. So there are, among human beings, that is among seekers, there are various grades of people. There are various grades of people. Somebody may be doing some yajna. Somebody may be doing a yajna for his own selfishness, for his own, it is a pure kamya karma. But then he may be highly ostentatious, he may be feeling very, very proud that he is such a religious man, performing what is all there in that religious scriptures. So he may be feeling like that, but he does not know that he is at the bottom. He is at the bottom of the ladder, he is not even in the first step. A person who is in that karma, he is that bottom. Then comes the karma yogi. Then comes karma yogi, it works to some extent for chitta, to a large extent for chitta shuddhi. Then karma yoga alone is not enough. Then karma yoga plus upasana, it is said. Karma yoga plus yoga, it is said. Yoga means that ashtanga yoga, where that practice of shama, dhamma, etc. We say indriya jaya, that is most important. And without indriya jaya, these concepts of Vedanta, they don't even sink into the mind. So with all that, he comes to the level of a jnani, Shravana, Manana, and then he initially gets that paroksha jnana. Paroksha jnana is, we can say, theoretical knowledge, indirect knowledge or theoretical knowledge. And then after a long duration of mananam and nididhyasanam, he attains that aparoksha jnana, aparoksha anubhuti. It is not jnanam, it is aparoksha anubhuti. He comes into that stage where he is aware. He stays as just existence and awareness. So these are various stages which we have seen. Similarly, in the case of a sannyasi also we have seen, a sannyasi, he merely sannyases, merely renounces, and then, but then he is not a jnani. And then slowly he comes into the path of this self-discipline, and then again comes into Shravana Manana, and then he gets Aparoksha Anubhuti. So these various stages of people, various types of people are being described by Krishna in Gita. And that is why, we have to be very careful to read say the Bhashyam. The Bhashyakara, he immediately points out, oh, this is the case relating to Jnani, this is the case relating to Karma Yogi, this is the case relating to Karma Yogi with Upasana. We have seen those stages. And we know that this is something which is told by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. When I speak to you, there is some modulation in a sentence. So I emphasize on a particular word, I don't emphasize on a particular word. So while saying, you know where exactly, what exactly I am stressing and what I am not stressing. So probably for Arjuna there was no confusion. But here we are only reading the text. So where Krishna put an emphasis or where Krishna put a stress, we may not put a stress. So we will lose the meaning. So that is why Shankaracharya, having taking into consideration the whole context of Gita and the whole context of philosophy and the whole context of Vedic teaching, then he says what is in Krishna's mind and where exactly is Krishna putting stress. So that is why this sloka, when we see this Paramartha, this sloka Naiva Kinchit Karomi is talking about a Jnani. So that is what we learn from Bhashyam. So this shloka is like these two shlokas. As I said, they form only one line, one sentence. And this shloka is like this. What is the attitude of a Jnani? So in Vedanta the basic question is, who am I? Isn't it? Who am I? In fact, there is a very powerful lecture by Swami Chinmayananda. So he talks in a very say excited tone. Krishnamayananda's lectures, if you have seen, it is in such say sort of a torrent of words, is such great English it comes. So you have to listen to that talk about who am I. Who am I? Vedanta ultimately answers that you are not the body-mind complex. You are not the person who is doing karma. So that is the ultimate gist of that talk, isn't it? So these two questions give the same thing in a rather indirect manner. What is the attitude of a Jnani to what all karma he does? So what is the attitude? Naiva kinchit karomi iti yuktaha manyeta tattvavit. So this tattvavit is the word here. Tattvavit is a Jnani. Tattvam janati vetti iti tattvavit. So a Jnani, how does he think? Naiva kinchit karomi, na eva kinchit karomi, aham na kinchit karomi eva. I am not doing anything because I am of the nature of existence consciousness. Existence and consciousness, they are the properties of Atman, they are the characteristics of Atman. Whereas all action, all karma relates to Prakriti, all karma relates to the body-mind complex. So this is a drushya, this is something which is seen. And I am the seer. So that is, I am the intelligence principle, I am the consciousness principle. So I am only the seer. So that is his understanding. Iti yuktaha. Yuktaha means jnana yuktaha. So that is the yuktaha, one who is settled in that understanding. Yukta, one who is settled in that understanding. Manyeta, he will think like that. He will have that comprehension. He will have that vision. Now, what is that vision? He is a witness. He is not the performer. He is only a witness to what all actions the body-mind complex does. So that is it. Naiva kinchit karomi iti yuktaha manyeta tattvavit. Then what are all the actions? So he is describing all the actions which are performed by the body-mind complex. Pashyan. What is Pashyan? Seeing. Shrunvan. Pashyan means not seeing, while seeing. So that is a continuous, present continuous. Pashyan. Pashyan gacchati. He is walking, looking at it or seeing or observing, he gacchati. Shrunvan gacchati. Suppose I say, listening, while listening he walks. So like that, while listening. Even as he listens, he walks. Even while listening, he walks. So like that. So this is a present continuous tense. Pashyan, while seeing. Shrunvan, while listening. Pashyan, Shrunvan, Sprushan, while feeling something by the sparsha, that is by the sense of touch. So basically he is describing all the five senses, all the five indriyas, that is Jnanendriyas, and five Karmendriyas. We know that there are five Jnanendriyas and there are five Karmendriyas. Jnanendriyas are the senses of knowledge. Karmendriyas are the limbs of action. The limbs of action, which we have the 5 limbs of action basically. So these are the things which he is describing. Sprushan, and also the mind. What mind does also he says. Sprushan, jigran. Jigran, grana is smelling, sense of smell. While inhaling, while smelling. Then not inhaling here, it is smelling. Sprushan, jigran. Ashnan, ashnam. Ashanam is eating. Ashanam. Ashnan, while eating. Gachan, while walking. Gachan, swapan, shwasan. Gachan, swapan. Swapan means sleeping, while sleeping. Shwasan, that is nishwasa, Uchshwasanam, Nishwasanam, that is inhale and exhale. Gachan, swapan, shwasan. Then pralapan, visrujan, grunhan. Pralapa is, what is pralapa? Talking. Pralapan, while talking. Visrujan, visarjana. What is visarjana? That is, say, releasing the waste from the body. Releasing the waste, all types of waste from the body, that is visarjana. Visrujan, that is while doing it. Grunhan, while taking something, or we can say while eating. Eating, of course, it has already come. Eating already has come. So while taking something, or while grunhati means he takes something, he grasps something, while he holds something, while holding something. Grunhan. Unmeshan, nimishan napi. Unmesha and nimesha. What is unmesha and nimesha? Opening of the eyes and closing of the eyes. Unmesha, nimesha. Nimesha, you know. Nimesha is the time taken for a wink of an eye. Just you close, you just wink the eye and then do like this. That is called a nimesha. So the time in our olden days, it was calculated in terms of nimesha. It started with a nimesha, the wink of an eye. That was the basic unit of calculation of time, and it goes right up to say the Brahma's day and the Brahma's life, and so that, like that. It's such a huge time scale, such a wide time scale you find in our books. So Unmesha Nimisha, you must have seen one line, Unmesha Nimishotpanna Vipanna Bhavanavalihi. In Lalita Sahasram, while describing this Lalita, they say Shankaracharya, not Shankaracharya, it is some Purana. That line says, so Unmesha Nimishotpanna Vipanna Bhavanavalihi. Her Unmesha is the origin of all the worlds. Her Nimesha is the origin, is the dissolution of all the worlds. So that is how that Lalita is described. So Unmishan, Nimishan Napi. Then all these things have been described, all these actions, about 13 actions. Pashyan, Shrunvan, Sprushan, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Shwasan, Pralapan, Visrujan, Grunhan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Napi. So many actions have been described by Krishna here. Then while doing all these actions, what is his attitude? His attitude is that Aham Karomi is not attitude, that attitude is not there. This attitude is Na Aham Karomi. I am not the Karta. I am the consciousness principle. These are all the actions done by the body. So that is the feeling. Then Indriyani Indriyartheshu Vartante iti dharayan. Indriyani Indriyartheshu Vartante. These are the Indriyas, the 5 sense in the Jnanendriyas, that is the sense organs, and the limbs relating to 5-fold action. The 5 sense organs and all the limbs relating to 5-fold action. All these things, they are functioning according to Prakriti, according to the nature. If the body does not take food, it will simply die. If we don't inhale, we will simply die. So that is why this sense organ has to jolly well function in that sense, that particular Indriyartha. We know that in Vedanta, how are the Indriyas created? How are the Indriyas created? Each Indriya corresponds to one of the Pancha Mahabhutas. There are 5 Pancha Mahabhutas, that is Prithvi, Apaha, Tejo, Vayu, Akashaha. That is earth, Prithvi, Apaha, earth, water, fire, air and sky. So the 5 sense organs, they are corresponding to these 5 things. So unless I breathe air, in a few minutes a man will die. If you don't take water for a few days, a man will die. If he doesn't take food for a few days, he will die. So it is like that. So this human body is supposed to be a sort of microcosm which is dependent on the macrocosm. So unless the macrocosm is there, this microcosm cannot be there. So this is all Prakriti. But this is not the, say, the real self. The real self is something else. Real self is that consciousness and Chit, that is Chit, consciousness which is Chit, and also existence. So, Indriyani Indriyartheshu Vartante, it is their nature, it is their bounden job, it is a sort of mutual sustenance which is going on, it is a sort of osmosis which is going on between these two. So, these things are functioning in a rather related manner. So, that is his understanding. Iti dharayan means while thinking like that, while having that particular type of understanding. So, that is the meaning here. This is the case of a jnani. In fact, this is not only for a jnani. We should remember that in the second chapter, Shankaracharya gave a very beautiful line, which I quite often repeat. That is, whatever are the characteristics of a jnani, or the sadhanas which have to be deliberately or consciously cultivated by a seeker. This is what is a beautiful line which we have to all remember. What is that line? Sarvatra hi Vedanta Shastre Krutarthasya Lakshanani Yani Tanyeva Sadhanani. Krutarthasya Lakshanani Yani. Whatever are the characteristics of a Krutartha. Krutartha is an accomplished person, a jnani. And the same Lakshanani become the Sadhanani for a seeker. You and I, we only observe that jnani. And then we see what are the qualities of that jnani, and we try to emulate, we try to consciously cultivate so that we are in that path. So that is the duty of a sadhaka. So we should not feel, okay, that man is a very great man, anyway, our job is done if we just do some pada puja and then pour some water on our head. It is not enough. So what the easiest thing is, okay, you go to some Shankaracharya and then you wash his feet and then put some water and then be done with that, and then you feel that you get some punyam. Then you go to your daily attitude with your own normal self. That should not be the way. That is, we are supposed to consciously emulate these great characteristics which are there in the sadhus or in the jnanis. So this jnani is having a vision which has to be consciously cultivated by a sadhaka. So this is a sort of manana shloka, we can say. In fact, there are several shlokas in Gita which we have to really, actually, the best way of reading a Gita, as I find, is you take a shloka and try to contemplate on the meaning for the whole day. So suppose you take this shloka, Naiva kinchit karomi iti yukto manyeta. And then with this feeling, having understood this shloka and also the bhashyam which we are going to see, you contemplate on this for the whole day. Then it will give you a lot of freedom. Just be an observer to all your actions. In fact, I am telling this from my own personal experience, because when I was in some government service and I was in a very, very stressful condition, I used to remind myself, I used to say, Naiva kinchit karomi iti, I was having this on my table. So if I look at that, Naiva kinchit karomi iti yukto manyeta tattvait, I am not a jnani, but I am certainly trying to follow, I am certainly trying to imitate. So this thing, this feeling, the moment you feel, you realize it, then all your burden goes away from the mind. Any type of highly stressed person in the modern world, a highly stressed person in the modern world can read this shloka and then get some relief, immediate relief. And if he contemplates on this shloka now and then he will never have headache, he will never feel stress. So you will never feel stress, you will never have any BP, or you will never have any sort of high cholesterol and whatnot. So if you read these shlokas, if you just take one shloka and then contemplate on the meaning and then try to practice it throughout the day. So these are all, this Vedanta is simply not some sort of verbal diarrhea, as somebody say, as people say. It is not a verbal diarrhea, it is for practice. It is for practice and self-improvement. So this self-improvement has to be felt. If we don't feel self-improvement, then there is no point in reading Vedanta. So that is it. So Naiva, let us read the Bhashyam. Naiva iti.
Naiva iti.
Nachasau paramarthatah karoti.
Nachasau paramarthatah karoti.
Ato naiva kinchit karomi iti.
Ato naiva kinchit karomi iti.
Yuktaha samahitassan.
Yuktaha samahitassan.
Manyeta chintayet.
Manyeta chintayet.
So as we discussed, he is saying Nacha asau. Asau means this particular jnani, this particular person. We referring to a jnani. Nacha asau paramarthatah karoti. he is not doing these actions in reality. Paramarthatah means in reality, in real sense. In the real sense, he is not doing. So here we are talking about a jnani who is indulging in various types of actions. So this can be a jnani and a very active person like a King Janaka or King Rama, or a jnani who is only going about his day-to-day bodily maintenance activity. So, Sharira Yatra Matra Sthiti Cheshtaha. We read one such phrase earlier. Sharira Yatra Matra Cheshtaha. That is Sharira Yatra. So, the body has to conduct itself. So, the body has to conduct itself means he has to get up, brush his teeth, and then he has to put on some clothes for the sake of society, if not for himself. Then say he has to eat something because he is not supposed to commit suicide. So, he is supposed to do some bhiksha. So, this is Sharira Yatra Matra Sthiti. Then in all these things will continue. Either he is a King Janaka or he is an ordinary sannyasi. So this shloka we can apply to both levels. At a higher level, at a king's level, at a very active level, or at a body maintenance level. So at both levels we can connect this particular shloka. So here, Naiva Kinchit Karna Paramarthatah Karoti. Whether he is a King Janaka or whether he is an ordinary, say, yogi like Vasishtha or Vamadeva, he is not doing anything in the real sense. Then, Ataha Naiva Kinchit Karomi iti Samahitaha. Samahitas san. Samahitaha means well determined in that. Samadhi, we know. Samadhi I have several times mentioned. Samyak adhiyate manaha asmin iti samadhi. That is, the mind is very firmly resolved in a particular way. So that is a samadhi. Then samahitaha, dha dhatu becomes hita, I said. So samahitaha means one who is firmly resolved, one who is determined in that. He is a samahita. Samahita's son, chintayet. He has to feel like that. Then tattvavit, atmanaha yathatmyam, Tattvam vetti iti tattvavit. Paramarthadarshi ityarthaha. So Shankaracharya sometimes explains all these simple words also. Tattvavit, atmanaha yathatmyam tattvam vetti iti tattvavit. Tattvam means the thisness of a thing. Tat is that. Tattvam is the thatness. Not thisness, thatness let us say. Atmanaha yathatmyam. The thatness of the Atman, he knows. So he is the Tattvavit, he knows that. Then, what is that? Paramartha Darshi, he knows that supreme thing. Parama is supreme. Supreme thing he knows. Then, Kada Kathamva, Tattvam Avadharayan Manyeta, Ityuchyate. Kada Kathamva means in what situations? Is it in a particular situation that he has to feel like this, or in all situations? The answer is in all situations. In all situations, 24 hours, 24 by 7 into 365. So that is the meaning here. Kada Kathamva Tattvam Avadharayan Manyeta. Tattvam Avadharayan means that is Avadharanam. Avadharanam is understanding. Avadharayan means keeping that in mind. Always alert to that, say, idea. He is always alert to that idea. Na kadapi pramadyate. Pramada we know. Pramada means lapse from a particular state. That is called a pramada. So pramada does not mean road accident. Pramada means lapse, a fault, some sort of blunder. So he never blunders on that account. He is always alert to the idea that I am a witness. He is alert to the idea that I am existence, consciousness. So that is the point here. Always avadharayan. Avadhare Kathamva Tattvam Avadharayan Manyeta. He is always in that Avadharana. Avadharana is that awareness. Then Pashyan Niti. Manyeta iti Purvena Sambandhaha. So this Manyeta applies to all these verbs. There are so many verbs which are used here. Pashyan, Shrunvan, Sprushan, Jighran, Nashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Shwasan. Pashyan Manyeta. Shrunvan Manyeta, Sprushan Manyeta. So this Manyeta has to apply to everything. That is what he is saying. Pralapan, Pashyan Manyeta, Shrunvan Manyeta, Sprushan Manyeta, Jighran Manyeta, Pashyan, Jighran, Gachan Manyeta, then Swapan Manyeta. So like that, while doing all things, he should have that clarity that I am not doing anything, I am not the Karta. Then Yasyaivam Tattvavidaha
यस्यैवं तत्त्वविदः
सर्वकार्यकरणचेष्टासु
सर्वकार्यकरणचेष्टासु
कर्मसु
कर्मसु
अकर्म इव पश्यतः
अकर्म इव पश्यतः
सम्यक् दर्शिनः
सम्यक् दर्शिनः
तस्य
तस्य
सर्वकर्मसन्न्यासे एव अधिकारः
सर्वकर्मसंन्यासे एव अधिकारः
कर्मणः अभावदर्शनात्.
कर्मणः अभावदर्शनात्.
So here Shankaracharya is drawing a small conclusion. Basing on all this discussion, Shankaracharya is drawing a conclusion, not for Arjuna, for others. Arjuna is supposed to be, for him, Krishna has prescribed for you what is suitable is Karma Yoga. His status, he knows. Krishna is something like a doctor, or a guru is something like a doctor who knows what is the state of maturity of the seeker. And then he advises as to where he fits in. So here, Shankaracharya is drawing conclusion to another type of seeker, because Shankaracharya, after all, he has written not from the point of view of Arjuna only, he has written from the point of view of Mimamsakas, from the point of view of Buddhists who are there, and from the point of view of the general, people. So that is why he draws a conclusion that Yasya evam tattvavidaha karmasu akarma iva pashyataha. So this jnani, he is seeing akarma in karma. This also we have seen earlier. Karmanya karmayah pashyed akarmanicha karmayah sa buddhiman manushyeshu sa yuktah krutsana karma kurt. That number of sloka I do not know, I don't remember. Karmani akarmayah pashyed. So that has come in the 4th chapter. So while doing a karma, he has to see akarma. A jnani's karma becomes akarma. So this we have discussed several times. So the sarva karya karana cheshtrasu karmasu akarma iva pashyatah. So he is saying sarva karya karana cheshtrasu. Karya and karana. Karya is the body, and karanam are all these tools, indriyas, all these hands, legs, limbs, and all these links. So this karya karana sanghata, this body is called karya karana sanghata. So this is a complex of the body and the organs. Body of course consists of the organs, but there is a small difference made. There is a small distinction made. That is, the body as a whole is called karya, and karana are various limbs. So this, and also the senses also it comes. Then in all these things, akarma pashyataha, for one who sees like that, pashyataha is in Shashti Vibhakti. Pashyataha samyak darshinaha, that is also in Shashti Vibhakti, for that samyak darshi, tasya sarvakarma sannyase eva adhikaraha. So he is the man who has to take up sarvakarma sannyasa. His adhikara is not for anything else, his adhikara is for sarvakarma sannyasa. Karmanaha abhava darshanat. So for him there is a karma abhava. So when there is a karma abhava, then he has to take up sannyasa. So that is what Shankaracharya is drawing a conclusion, and he is also supporting that conclusion by adding a small argument. Nahi mrugatrushnikayam udakabuddhya panaya pravruttaha udakabhava jnanepi tatraiva panaprayojanaya pravartate. So he gives a small drishtanta. Drishtanta is a small example. Suppose you are walking in a desert, and then at a long distance you see one mirage, and then it looks like an oasis for you, and then you try to go near and near. That oasis is also going back and back, it is also receding. Then at some point you realize that it is not an oasis, it is only a mirage, it is only some sort of whatever total internal reflection, whatever it is, and then it is seen as a water. So mrugatrushnika, this thing is a mrugatrushna. Whatever we see is a mrugatrushna. Mrugatrushnikayam udakapanaya pravurtaha. So somebody who is engaged in seeking water in a mrugatrushna, in a mirage, so that gentleman, udakabhava jnanepi tatraiva panaprayojanaya pravartate. Udakabhava jnanepi, once it is realized that there is no water there, then he will no longer direct himself in that, put himself in that direction. He will no longer place himself in that direction. Panaprayojanaya na pravartate. He will not engage himself in that particular action. So he is saying that once you know that you are different, you are only a druk swarupa, and then this drushyam is something different, there is no point following this drushyam. So that is Shankaracharya, because Shankaracharya he has taken up a sannyasa in childhood itself. So he is recommending this course for very serious seekers. So that is it. Then yastu punaha
यस्तु पुनः
atatvavit
अतत्ववित्
tatvit pravrittasya karmayoge
प्रवृत्तश्च कर्मयोगे
pravrittasya karmayoge. So here of course we have to stop and read the next shloka. Then Krishna is switching over to the other type of man, atatvavit, one who is following karma yoga. As we just discussed, Krishna is switching over from one type of man to another. One type of man to one grade, because different grades of people are there. So one stage of man to another stage. So in this shloka, the next shloka, that is Brahmanyadhaya Karmani, he is talking about a karma yogi, atatvavit. Let us read this shloka. Brahmanyadhaya Karmani
ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि
Sangam Tyaktva Karoti Yaha
सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा करोति यः
Lipyate na sapapena
लिप्यते न सपापेन
Padmapatramivambhasa.
पद्मपत्रमिवाम्भसा.
So this shloka is basically, it shows that karma yoga is something where the fruit of action does not stick to a person. Just as water does not stick to say the lotus petal. Lotus, we have all seen lotus. Lotus is there in a pond, and then though even if it rains and then it is in the pond, and then every time some water will be sprinkled on that by all the water birds and whatnot, but still the water will not stick on to that the petal of that say lotus flower. So that is the speciality of the lotus flower. So this your karma yogi also, even when he is engaged in action, he is engaged in all types of actions. He is like that lotus where the fruit of action does not stick to him. So a very beautiful example which is given by Lord Krishna. So what is this say karma yogi? He is again describing Brahmani adhaya karmani. Brahmani, not in that supreme Brahman. He is referring to the creator Brahma. He is Brahmanyadhaya, as an order from the Lord, as a contribution to the cosmos, as a contribution to the cosmic, the aggregate, let us say, as a contribution to his society, as a contribution to social harmony. Social harmony also is one thing which we heard. What is that word? Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangraha is one word which Krishna uses twice. Loka Sangrahartham karma kurvannapi. Loka Sangraha means for the sake, to be a sort of role model for the society. Then for the sake of society. So he is saying, this gentleman, a karma yogi, he is doing his karma as his duty to the society, as his duty to the collective, aggregate, as an order from the Lord. So that is the thing here. Brahmani adhaya karmani. Karmani Brahmani adhaya. In Brahma, Brahmani is in Saptami Vibhakti. Adhaya means having placed. Samarpya. Adhaya means samarpya, having dedicated. You are dedicating all your actions to the Lord. So that is it. You are dedicating all your actions to the Lord. Brahmani adhaya. Then Sangam Tyaktva. So he is not a phalakangshi. Sangam means attachment to the fruit of action. Phalabhilasham Tyaktva. That is, you have given up that desire for that phala. Why? If you have that phala, then you have to again in this samsara, you have to be in this samsara. This karma yogi is one man who has chosen the path of knowledge, and then he, as a preparatory step for that, he is doing this thing, karma yoga. Because when he does kamya karma, he will be tied in that, he will be in that cycle of birth and death. So in this karma yoga, at least in this janma, he will not accrue any, he will not accumulate any merit or demerit. Maybe his past merits and demerits may be there. But then, at least in this janma, he is neutralizing. He is keeping his accounts zero balance. So like that. So, Sangam Tyaktva Karoti Yaha Karoti. One who does like that, Lipyate Nasa Papena. Saha Papena Na Lipyate. So, he will not be tainted, he will not be touched or tarnished by Papa. Papa also refers to Punyam. Papa also refers to Punyam. The Punyam is again a golden chain. So, Papa is another sort of say barbed wire chain. So, something like that. Lipyate Nasa Papena. Padmapatram ambhasa. Padmapatram yatha ambhasa na lipyate. Ambhasa means by water. Ambha is water. Ambhasa is in Tritiya Vibhakti. Ambhasa is by water. Padmapatram ambhasa yatha nalipyate tatha karma yogi nalipyate. So that is the overall structure. Padmapatram iva. Iva means like. Padmapatram is, Padmapatram is a lotus, you can say whether it's a leaf or whether it's a petal, it doesn't matter. Ambhasa. Ambhas is water. So just as it is a lotus petal is not touched, this man also is not touched. Let us read the Bhashyam. Yastu punaha
यस्तु पुनः
atatvavit
अतत्ववित्
pravrittasya karmayoge.
प्रवृत्तश्च कर्मयोगे.
So this gentleman is pravritta karmayoge pravrittaha. He is engaged in this karma yoga. Then brahmani ishvare
ब्रह्मणि ईश्वरे
adhaya nikshipya
आधाय निक्षिप्य
tadartham karomi iti
तदर्थं करोमि इति
bhrutya iva swamyartham
भृत्य इव स्वाम्यर्थं
sarvani karmani
सर्वाणि कर्माणि
mokshe api phale
मोक्षे अपि फले
sangam tyaktva
संगं त्यक्त्वा
karoti yah sarvakarmani
करोति यः सर्वकर्माणि
lipyate nasa papena
लिप्यते न स पापेन
na sambadhyate
न सम्बध्यते
padmapatramiva ambhasa udakena.
पद्मपत्रमिव अम्भसा उदकेन.
So the same thing which we discussed. Brahmani, in Saptami Vibhakti, as I said, Ishware, Adhaya, Nikshipya. Nikshepa means placing something in a deposit. So you are depositing all these things in Brahma. That is, you are dedicating all your actions to Brahma. Then Tadartham Karomi. Tadartham Karomi means I am doing it for the sake of the Lord. For the sake of the Lord means not that I am giving a kiritam to Lord Krishna, Lord Venkateswara, not that I am giving some other kiritam to some other thing and then do all illegal things outside. It's not like that. For the sake of the Lord means Lord is in charge of the universal order. He is in charge of the universal harmony. He is the person, he means that is that universal order itself we are visualizing as some Lord. That you are visualizing in the shape of Krishna, you are visualizing in the shape of Venkateswara, you are visualizing in the shape of Shiva. All these things, they are all in charge of the harmony of the world. So whatever you do, when you are doing it for the sake of the Lord, it does not mean you are giving 1,000 rupees or giving a kiritam. You are doing it for social harmony. You are doing it for social order. You are doing it for dharma, for continuation of dharma, as a part of dharma, as a part of your say role in that dharma structure, dharma framework. So that is the meaning. So the adhaya nishipya tadartham karomi iti bhrutya iva swamyartham. Like a servant for the sake of his master. Bhrutya iva. Bhrutya is one who takes a salary is a bhrutya. Bhrutya, bhruti, one who takes bhruti. Bhruti is maintenance. Bhruti, the person who takes bhruti is a bhrutya. Then swamyartham, for the sake of the boss. Then sarvani karmani, all the actions. Then mokshepi phale sangam tyaktva. So he should not have that desire for moksha also. So they even that, oh, okay, I am doing this for moksha, that thing also is, he will not have that attachment, because ultimately after he realizes, after he gets viveka, then automatically that moksha, it is there. Moksha is not something to be newly attained. Moksha is something which is already there. Moksha, the basic idea we have to see is, in all other things there is something to be attained from outside. In moksha there is nothing to be attained. It has to be realized. It is your own self. You are the Brahman, it says. You have to only realize it. You have to only realize you don't realize that you are sitting on a gold mine. So that is what is the Vedanta lesson. So phale sangam tyaktva karoti yaha, one who does like that, sarva karmani lipyate nasa papena na sambadhyate. Na sambadhyate means he has no sambandha. Sambandha means connection. Sambandha, relation, connection, attachment. He does not have any such thing, just as that lotus leaf or lotus petal. Then kevalam sattva shuddhi matra phalameva
केवलं सत्त्वशुद्धि मात्र फलमेव
tasya karmanah syat.
तस्य कर्मणस्य
Yasmat. Okay, this line says kevalam sattva shuddhi matra phalameva tasya karmanah syat. So the ultimate result of karma yoga is sattva shuddhi. The result of karma yoga is not directly, it is not leading you to moksha. Directly it is not leading you to some dhyana yoga. Karma yoga is a basic step, basic discipline, step of self-discipline, which is giving you chitta shuddhi, sattva shuddhi. Sattva means antahkarana. So sattva shuddhi is antahkarana shuddhi matra phalameva, and that is good enough. Antahkarana shuddhi, when that is there, and antahkarana shuddha antahkarana is something where the dharma is actually revealed. The God, the creator God also is revealed there only in a shuddha antahkarana. So that is an important step, first step, but an important step. So tasya karmanah syat yasmat. Then let us read this next shloka. Kayena manasa buddhya
कायेन मनसा बुद्ध्या
केवलैरिन्द्रियैरपि
केवलैरिन्द्रियैरपि
योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति
योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति
संगं त्यक्त्वा आत्मशुद्धये.
संगं त्यक्त्वा आत्मशुद्धये.
So this shloka is very clearly saying that karma yoga is leading to chitta shuddhi. Then this shloka, if you clearly see, kayena manasa buddhya kevalaihi indriyairapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. In Sandhya Vandana you come across one shloka. Kayena vacha manasa indriyairva buddhyatmana va prakrute svabhavat. We read that shloka every day. What does it mean? Kayena, by body, vacha, manasa, indriyairva, by mind, by my indriyas, manasendriyarva, buddhya, atmanava, prakrute svabhavat, by mere nature of this prakriti, yadyat karomi, whatever I do, that is all Narayanayeti samarpayami. Buddhyatmanava prakrute svabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai Narayanayeti samarpayami. Parasmai Brahmana, parasmai Narayanaya, to that supreme Narayana. Iti I am samarpayami, that is I am offering all these things to that Narayana. So this is what a person, every person, he is supposed to do Sandhya Vandan. Sandhya Vandan, as I said repeatedly, it is not for the sake of one group of people in society. It is Sandhya Vandan is for everybody. Sandhya Vandan is for everybody, and people were doing it. And unfortunately, one by one people have left. And even the so-called people who are in charge of religion, the priests and all these people, very few of them are doing. So that is the priestly class, let us say, priestly caste, let us say. Even these people, they are slowly giving up. But if you find this Sandhya Vandan is such a wonderful exercise. It is a wonderful spiritual exercise if only you know the meaning and then you do it. And it takes only about 20 minutes a day. And we are supposed to do it 3 times a day. Is this working?
Yeah.
So first AC gone, now power also gone, okay.
They are working on it.
So this UPS is working?
Yes.
Okay. So this is 3 times a day. But unfortunately, because of pressure of time, and then somebody is in office at that time, somebody is in is in transit some other place. So at least mentally we are supposed to do it. We need not go take one kalasham and whatnot, spoon and dharani and whatnot. Even mentally we can say. If not 20 minutes, even 5 minutes, that gives you that it is something like getting your coordinates, where exactly you are. Suppose you are lost in a jungle, you are the basic thing you are supposed to know is your coordinates, where exactly you are. So this is something, Sandhya Vandan is something which will give you your coordinates every day, every afternoon, every evening. So where exactly I am. So it starts with your sankalpa. So and so place, so and so time, so and so what is this falana rishis gotra, gotraha, so and so shakadhyayi. So what is it all about? Does God does not know what you are and where you are, and then Bharata Varshe, Bharata Khande, Krishna Godavari or Madhya Deshe, does he not know your coordinates? It is only reminding yourself every time that you are a small limited thing in this whole scheme of things, and then you are doing your dharma. So this is the meaning of Sandhya Vandana. And then you are such a small speck of being. You are doing your might, whatever you are doing it for the social harmony. And then whatever you are doing is for the sake of the Lord. That is for the sake of the universal order, let us say. Lord means universal order. For the sake of that universal order you are doing it. For the sake of cosmic order you are doing it. So that is why these Pancha Mahayajnas have been prescribed. So this is shloka, this is one shloka which we can say, in fact Bellamkonda Ramaraya Kavi has pointed it out, that this Kayena Manasa Buddhya, this shloka in Gita seems to be the moolam for our Sandhyavandana mantra. Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmanava, that Sandhyavandana mantra, most probably it is inspired by this Kayena Manasa Buddhya. So that is what he has pointed out. So here, the meaning of, let us see the meaning. Kayena, very simple. Kaya means body. Manasa, by the mind. Buddhya, by the intellect. Manas and buddhi, there is some slight distinction. Manas is Sankalpa Vikalpatmaka Manaha. Manaha is something just a registering mechanism. Manas, it receives impressions and registers in the mind. Buddhi is something which discriminates. Buddhi is Nishchayatmika Buddhihi. That is something which decides, oh, this is this, this is that. It decides, it discriminates. So these two things are Kevalaihi Indriyairapi, or by merely Indriyas, sense organs. Or then Yoginaha Karma Kurvanti. Yoginaha means, here we are referring to Karma Yogi. The context is Karma Yogi here. Karma Yoginaha Karma Kurvanti. Sangam Tyaktva Atma Shuddhaye, for the sake of Antahkarana Shuddhi, for the sake of purification of self. These people, they go about all actions. So that is the meaning here. Let us read the Bhashyam. Kayena Dehena Manasa Buddhyacha Kevalaihi Mamatvavarjitaihi api Ishvarayaiva karma karomi na mama phalaya iti mamatva buddhi shunyaihi api kevala shabdaha kayadibhirapi pratyekam sambadhyate sarva vyapareshu mamata varjanaya. Okay, we'll stop here. So kaya we know deha, manasa buddhyacha kevalaihi. The word kevala is used only to show that mamatva varjitaihi. So they are just going about all these actions. The body, mind, buddhi, intellect, then the indriyas, the sense organs, they are just going about all actions. Kevala means mamatva buddhi rahita. That is, I am doing, that feeling. Mamatva is mama, aham is I, mama is mine. Shashti vibhakti. Then I and mama, that me, aham and mama, these two are the things which have to be avoided by the seeker. So here we are talking about a seeker who is in the preliminary step called Karma Yoga, and then he is trying to give up that mamatva buddhi. He is still not a jnani. He is still consciously trying to give up that mamatva buddhi. So that is why he is very consciously practicing all these things. Na mama Ishvarayaiva karma karomi, na mama phalaya. Ishvarayaiva, as I said, Ishvara means, let us say, universal order, cosmic order. Say for that I am doing. Then mamatva buddhi shunyaihi indriyairapi. So mamatva buddhi shunyaihi indriyahi. This kevala word has to be applied to all words. That is what he says. This kevalaihi indriyairapi. This kevala word has to be applied to kevala kayena, kevala manasa, kevalena buddhya, kevalaya buddhya, kevalena kayena, kevalaya manasa, kevalena manasa, kevalaya buddhya. So that is how we have to apply to each and every thing. That is what he says. Kevala shabdaha kayadibhirapi pratyekam sambadhyate. Pratyekam means individually it connects to each and every word. Individually this word kevala connects to other words also. Sarva vyapareshu mamata varjanaya. Why? Because in all actions that mamata should not be there. Mamata. What is mamata? Mamata is not a female name. Mamata is minus. Not M-I-N-U-S, minus. M-Y, my, N-E-S-S, my, mama. Mama is mine. Mamata is mineness. That is, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. That feeling is called mamata. Mamata. This is mine, this is mine. That feeling is called mamata. Then, mamata varjanaya. Then next line, yoginaha karminaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva
त्यक्त्वा
फलविषयं
फलविषयम्
आत्मशुद्धये सत्त्वशुद्धये इत्यर्थः।
आत्मशुद्धये सत्त्वशुद्धये इत्यर्थः।
तस्मात्
तस्मात्
तत्रैव तव अधिकारः
तत्रैव तव अधिकारः
इति कुरु कर्मैव।
इति कुरु कर्मैव।
So Shankaracharya is again pointing out that in the case of Arjuna, it is karma yoga which is recommended. For the sake of others, Shankaracharya might have drawn a conclusion in the earlier shloka that a jnani has to take up sannyasa. That is a thing which is for the sake of a jnani. But in the case of Arjuna, this is tasmat tatraiva tava adhikaraha. Your place, your eligibility, adhikara is actually eligibility. Your eligibility is for karma yoga. So that is what say this shloka says. Then yasmacha. Yasmacha means moreover because. Yasmat. Yasmat does not directly mean moreover. Yasmat means because. Yasmat means because actually. He is giving some more reason. So because this next shloka also refers to karma yogi. Next shloka refers that yuktah karma phalam tyaktva. It refers to karma yogi. Let us read this shloka. Yuktah karma phalam tyaktva.
Yuktah karma phalam tyaktva.
Shantim apnoti naishtikim.
शान्तिमाप्नोति नैष्ठिकीम्
अयुक्तः कामकारेण
अयुक्तः कामकारेण
फले सक्तो निबध्यते.
फले सक्तो निबध्यते.
So this shloka again talks about karma yoga, but we know already Krishna is, because he is repeating, because he is again and again explaining various shades of karma yoga, various shades of sannyasa. So Yuktaha means one who is karma yogena yuktaha, one who is settled in that karma yoga. He is called yukta here. One who is settled in a particular yoga is called yukta. In dhyana yoga, suppose in the chapter of dhyana yoga, when you see the word yukta, it means dhyana yogena yuktaha. In bhakti yoga, if you see this word yukta, we have to understand it as bhakti yogena yuktaha. So he is in that particular yoga. Yuktaha karma phalam tyaktva, having abandoned this karma phalam, shantim apnoti naishtikim. Naishtikim shantim apnoti. So naishtikim is an important word. Nishtha, what is that nishtha? Jnana nishtha. So whatever phalam is ultimately obtained by nishtha, jnana nishtha, the same phalam is slowly obtained by this karma yogi too. So that is the meaning. Shantim apnoti naishtikim, jnana nishtha. Whatever phalam is obtained ultimately, because earlier also we saw yat sankhya prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate. That is what we saw only 2 classes ago. So yuktah karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim. Naishtikim shantim apnoti. He attains. Apnoti means attains. What? Naishtikim shantim. The shanti or the peace, tranquility of mind, that equanimity of mind which is associated with jnana, which is associated with a proper understanding, that is jnana nishtha. Jnana nishtha is to be stationed in that jnana. So that gives you a lot of tranquility of mind because of proper understanding. Samyak darshana basically gives you happiness. So that happiness is shanti. Shantim apnoti, he attains. Then ayuktaha, one who is not settled in this particular type of yoga, kamakarena, one who is not there in that karma yoga, one who is only indulging in kamya karma, one who is only practicing kamya karmas, thinking that he is a highly religious man, performing all rituals, performing all things. So he only limited to that without doing anything good for the society. He is only after himself. He is only looking after his own personal benefit. He is not looking after the benefit of the society. So that gentleman, kamakarena, phale saktaha nibadhyate. Phale saktaha. Saktaha means asaktaha. One who is just attached, glued to that fruit of that thing. Nibadhyate. He gets bound. Nishchayena badhyate. Ni plus badhyate. Nibadhyate. He is definitely bound. Badhyate. Bandhanam we know. Bandhanam is bond. Badhyate is he is bound. Nibadhyate. Ni is an upasarga. Ni plus badhyate. Nibadhyate. So let us read the bhashyam. Yuktah karma phala sangam. Yuktah Ishwaraya karmani karomi.
Ishwaraya karmani karomi.
Na mama phalaya.
Na mama phalaya.
Ityevam samahitassan.
Ityevam samahitassan.
Karma phalam tyaktva parityajya.
कर्मफलं त्यक्त्वा परित्यज्य
शान्तिं मोक्षाख्याम्
शान्तिं मोक्षाख्याम्
आप्नोति
आप्नोति
नैष्ठिकीं निष्ठायां भवाम्
नैष्ठिकीं निष्ठायां भवां
सत्त्वशुद्धि
सत्त्वशुद्धि
ज्ञानप्राप्ति
ज्ञानप्राप्ति
सर्वकर्मसन्न्यास
सर्वकर्मसंन्यास
ज्ञाननिष्ठा.
ज्ञाननिष्ठा.
1 minute, my book, there is a print, there my book has a print mistake. Sannyasa Jnananishta Kramena iti
ज्ञाननिष्ठा क्रमेण इति
Vakyasheshah.
वाक्यशेषः.
So in that long phrase there is a slight print mistake. Sattva Shuddhi Jnana Prapti Sarva Karma Sannyasa Jnananishta Kramena iti Vakyasheshah. So that is the line. So now we are talking about the Karma Yogi, as I said. Ishwaraya karmani karomi. I am doing it for the sake of this universal order. Then na mama phalaya, not for my phalam, not for myself. Ityevam samahita san. Samahita means, as I said, determined. Samahita chitta. One who has got that clarity in mind. One who is determined. Samahita san. Karma phalam tyaktva. Having abandoned that karma phala. Parityajya. He has to tyaga. The word used is tyaga. Tyaga is different from dana. Suppose I give some 10 rupees to somebody and then I feel, I have given some 10 rupees. That is dhanam. I feel that I am the donor and he is the recipient and I am getting some punyam and whatnot. So tyaga is a realization that this does not belong to me. This does not belong to me. Okay, I may give it. This doesn't belong to me. This is something which is given to me by the aggregate. What I have taken from the samashti, I have to give back to the samashti. So that is the feeling. Then parityajya shantim mokshakhyam apnoti. So for the word shanti, Shankaracharya is writing moksha. Moksha is the ultimate liberation. That ultimate liberation is the place where you have say real happiness, isn't it? So that shanti here is referring to real happiness which is attained by jnana nishta, by a firm understanding of that jnana nishta. Then shanti apnoti naishtikim nisthayam bhavam. So naishtiki, actual meaning is nisthayam bhavam, that which is born out of nisthayam bhavaha. So bhavaha means that which is born. Kumbha Sambhava, one who is born in a pot. Kumbha Sambhava Dronacharya. Then Padma Sambhava, one who is born in that lotus. We talk about this four-headed Brahma. So this bhava is that which is born. Nisthayam bhavam, that is one that which is born out of that jnana nishtha. Now how is it that this man, the question arises, you are now talking about a karma yoga and you are talking about the highest result. How is it that he is going to get the highest result? That is the question, isn't it? So he is going to explain Nisthayam bhavam. There is a gradual process. It is not as though by mere karma yoga he is going to get it. There is a gradual process. This is called krama mukti. There is what is called krama mukti and another word is called sadhyo mukti. Sadhyo mukti is by proper jnana, by proper understanding. That is Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasana and all that Atma Sakshatkara. Once you know the self, your real self, that is called sadhyo mukti. Then here it is a krama mukti. Krama mukti, what is the process? Sattva Shuddhi. So initially result is Sattva Shuddhi. Then slowly Jnana Prapti. So after his Antahkarana is very clear, then the Upanishad Vakyas enter his mind. So till that time Upanishad Vakyas will not enter his mind. So that is slowly he will think on those lines, he will brood on those lines and then he will slowly speculate on that. He will see various arguments for and against. And then he realizes that, oh, this is something which is there. So then he is in that self. So that is Jnana Prapti. Then slowly Sarva Karma Sannyasa. Such a man slowly gives up this Sarva Karmas. Then Jnana Nishtha. Nishtha means he is settled in that. Nishchayena Avasthanam. He is very firmly settled in that Jnana. So this is the Krama. Nishtha Kramena iti Vakyasheshaha. Kramena. Kramena means in that order, slowly, in a gradual process. Iti Vakyasheshaha. Vakyashesha means this is what we have to understand. So Vakyashesha, when we see the word Vakyashesha, it means it is not told in the text, but then this is what is intended. This is what we have to see in there. Vakyashesha means, Shesha, depending on the context, it means limb. Shesha means, sometimes it means a limb, it is a part of it. Here Vakya Shesham is, it is not told here explicitly, but this is what is implied here. So that is what we have to understand here. Then I think, should we read this line or is time over?
Almost also, but
So time is over. Let us read the next line in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.